I'm Kimberlie Acosta. Welcome to the Native News Update. It's Wednesday, November 10th. Many of the stories you hear here can be found at our website, IndianCountryNews.com. And here's the news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. A knife held by Native woodcarver John T. Williams was closed when it was found following his fatal shooting at the hands of Seattle police last summer. A police source has told KIRO 7 Eyewitness News. KIRO 7 broke the news to Williams' sister, Susan Chambers, who said she wasn't surprised by the revelation. If John was sitting with another fellow and got up and started to go home, it makes all the sense in the world that he would have closed his knife, Chambers had said. He wouldn't have been walking around with an open blade, and he certainly wouldn't have been threatening a policeman with an open blade. Williams was carving wood with his knife on August 30th when he was confronted by Seattle police officer Ian Burke. Burke fired because he believed Williams and the knife he was holding was a threat. Williams was killed. The Seattle Police Department's Firearms Review Board concluded last month that the shooting was not justified. A hearing has been scheduled for November 23rd to determine the date of the formal inquest into the shooting. A long-sought federal law allowing Native Hawaiians to form their own government stands little chance of passing Congress before the end of the year, and its approval may even be less likely after the Republican House majority takes office in January. Native Hawaiians are the last remaining indigenous people in the United States that haven't been allowed to establish their own government, a right already extended to Alaska Natives and Native American tribes. Democratic Senator Daniel Akaka, for whom the legislation is named, said he will push to pass the bill during the Senate's lame duck session starting November 15th. But the chamber also will be busy with tax cut extensions and a stopgap spending measure to keep the government running. More than 117 years has passed since the Hawaiian Kingdom was overthrown, and this measure is an effort to begin reconciling the federal government with the nation's 400,000 Native Hawaiians. The legislation passed the U.S. House in February, but it stalled in the Senate, where it failed to get consideration in the months before last week's election. The Native News Update has learned that actress Irene Bedard, star of many movies such as Smoke Signals, Out of the West, and Disney's Pocahontas, and known and loved throughout Indian country, has come to a place in her life where she is filing for divorce from her husband. Irene and her soon-to-be ex-husband have a young son, over whom a custody battle is currently being waged before the divorce can be finalized. At this point, she is in need of support from our communities around the country. According to a source close to Irene, who is asked not to be identified, for many years Irene has been a victim of domestic violence and abuse, and this, of course, affects not only Irene but also her young son. We have confirmed with Marianne Canale of the E. Joyce Thomas Charity Incorporated, a nonprofit located in Cherokee, North Carolina, that they are organizing a fundraising event. According to the source close to Irene that is asked not to be identified, they are strongly urging everyone not to write Irene directly at this time, for she is no longer in control of her email, Facebook, MySpace, etc. For more information, you can contact Marianne Canale at redcrystalgala.org. Due to a death in the community, the Ponemah Veterans Powwow scheduled this weekend in Ponemah, Minnesota will be rescheduled for the following weekend, Friday evening at 7 p.m. November 19th, and continuing that Saturday and Sunday on November 20th and 21st. The American Indian Center of Chicago's annual powwow returns once again to Navy Pier after a 12-year absence. On November 20th and 21st, the American Indian Center of Chicago, the oldest urban Indian community center in the country, will host its 57th consecutive annual powwow. The center is located in the uptown Ravenswood area. In addition to sharing arts and culture through public performances and contemporary Native art exhibits at the Trickster Gallery, the AIC provides basic human services, after-school education, senior lunch services, and health screenings to local Native Americans and their neighbors. For more information, you can visit aic-chicago.org. And that's the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and have a grand day.